I'm Ignace Aleya from ToleratedCinematics.com, and today I will be showing you how to create this. Alright, so here we are in Adobe After Effects creating the intro that you just saw. So if you don't want to follow the tutorial or you think it's too hard or takes too much time, you can always buy this exact template, which allows you to just jump into the effect and go to the title here and change the text to whatever you want, text or logo, and then you will have it changed right here. So to get started with this tutorial, let's create a new composition and rename this to the glitch intro main, to just say that it's the main comp. And then I will just create another composition as well. Also make sure it's full HD, 24 frames per second, well, the frame rate of 24, and a duration of 10 seconds maybe. So I did that wrong in the first composition, so 10 seconds instead of 1. There we go. We have this comp, and I forgot to rename it as well. We are going to rename this to fractal noise. And if you have seen the previous tutorial about glitch intros, which I really recommend you to watch if you're going to follow this one, because it's very similar, but just with different results. But if you combine these two tutorials, I'm sure you can get something really cool out of it. So also, if you got some nice results, be sure to leave them in the comments below so I can see what you come up with using my tutorials. Alright, so here I'm going to create a new solid in the composition of the fractal noise. Go to Effect, Noise and Grain, and add the fractal noise effect here. And here we're going to have some fun, so change the fractal type to maybe dynamic and change the noise type to block. And now it's up to us to play around with the contrast and the transform. I'm going to uncheck the uniform scaling, and I'm going to add a lot more contrast, create a keyframe for that, create a keyframe for the brightness, and also for the scale, width, and height. And then I will also increase or decrease, well, let's decrease it to 4, the complexity. I think that should be fine. And alt-click on the evolution and write time times 500 like this, and then just well, don't hit enter, just click away, and then it should animate itself automatically. You can also play around with the offset turbulence, but I won't do that for now. Once you have done that, click on the layer, press U on the keyboard. This will reveal all the keyframes that we just made, and then we can concentrate on our timeline itself. Then like move ahead a few frames, like 3 frames. I do this with a page down button, 1, 2, 3. And then here I will create new keyframes, so just hover over them to make new keyframes right here. Move ahead 1 frame, and then you can switch it up a little bit. So that's the cool part. You can just play around with the contrast, play around maybe with the with the brightness, and also with the width and the height maybe, and do some crazy stuff. Move ahead a few frames, also create new keyframes, move ahead 1 frame, and then switch it up even more. So maybe make it very thin, but very bright, so we have like a lot of displacement going on. And this is going to allow us to allow us to do the glitch effect. So now we have like everything that's white is going to be displaced, everything that's black is not going to be displaced, and you will see in the near future what I'm talking about. So go back to your original composition, the TUT glitch intro main. Then I will also create a text here. So let's select my horizontal text tool and just enter some text. So I will write Tolerated Cinematics. Make it a little bit bigger. Well, not too big, of course. And then just center it with the align tool here. So just center it out, and now we have our text. Then we can go to layer, pre-compose, and pre-compose our text. So title 01, there we go. And we are also going to add this fractal noise to our composition. And then I will uncheck this eyeball here, so we don't see the layer. It's it can be hidden. Right click, new adjustment layer, and then we are going to rename that layer to displacement. There we go. Go to Effect, Distort, Displacement Map. That's right over here. And then we will select the Displacement Map layer to be that fractal noise layer. And now suddenly, well, immediately you can see the difference in our text. And if we're going to play this back, we will see that it has like a light glitch like there, right there. So that's pretty cool. And then what you can do as well is maybe just go back to your fractal noise. Now we'll animate the offset turbulence anyway. So go back to your beginning of the timeline, click on the stopwatch, move ahead like 1 second or so. Well, 20 seconds is here, so this is all going way too fast. So I'm going to zoom back in and select all these keyframes and just make sure that they all happen within like 2 seconds or so. Okay, this is okay. And then go back to the beginning, and what I will do is the offset turbulence, press U on the keyboard to reveal that keyframe as well. So right here, the offset turbulence, and go to the end of our keyframes, and then just move it like a little bit so there's some movement in the fractal noise as well. So now we get something like this, and very quickly actually. Okay, apparently it's not 2 seconds. 2 seconds is right over here. I'm watching frames here. Okay, that's my mistake. So select all your keyframes, and if you hold Alt and drag it out, you can just lengthen them or shorten them all at once. So just make sure it's like 2 seconds, and it was my mistake, a little mistake here. But now we have something like this, so that's pretty cool. Actually, again, I'm going to switch it to like 1 second. It's a little bit too long. Okay, so this is great. This is what we're actually looking for. And if we go back to our original comp and check that, we're going to see that everything is a lot faster and more glitchier. Then go to the displacement adjustment layer and also click on the stopwatches for the max horizontal displacement and the max vertical displacement. If you press U on the keyboard as well to reveal those keyframes, we can then play with like the vertical ones to get our text all open. There we go. And also maybe, well, let's keep the vertical at 0 for now. Then move ahead like 2 frames and change it to like 10 here. And change it to 0 for a second, change it back to 20, and play around with everything. So now we have something like this. Very quickly, there we go. Also maybe another one, and we will also make it like 5 and like 10 here. Go back to the fractal noise, and then like maybe scale it up like a lot. So right over here we have our scaling. We can create the keyframe before, we can create 2 new keyframes for the scale, and then in between these keyframes we can scale it up like to be very big here, so something like this. And if we go back, we will see that it's going to be displacing like a bigger chunk of our text. So if we're going to check that out, it's going to add some variation to our text. And there we go. Okay, so that's right over here, and then play around with the horizontal and vertical displacement. And there we go. All right. And then once you have the end here, we will change them back to 0, so we have no displacement whatsoever anymore. So this is our glitch appearance here. And if we zoom out just a little bit and shorten this, preview this, I'm going to set my preview to loop. You can do that right here at the preview tab. So it should be looping, so we can keep on checking. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What you can do as well is go to the displacement and also add another distort and the wave warp. This is also pretty cool. And change the width to like 10 and maybe the height to 10 as well here. And then move back 1 frame, change it to 0, move forward 2 frames back to 0. And then we will see that we have like 3 keyframes like this, 0, 10, 0. And now we have like 1 frame that has the wave warp. Then a little bit later you can do the same thing. So after that 0, we can change it back to like 20 maybe, a little bit more. And again back to 0 and check what we have. So that's a little bit more variation to our text. Okay, so what I have done as well is created another composition called this background noise. And I also created, well, I made this 1 second long. Go back to the project, and what I did use is the glitch elements that we sell on our website, but you can also get some free samples if you enter your email. Link will be in the description, and then you will get some glitch effects that you can use, and just drag them into your timeline. Well, I'll select them all and drag them to your timeline, and then move ahead 1 frame and just select the 4 here and move that to 1 frame, then select only 3 like this, move ahead, again another frame, these 2, and then this 1, and now we have like a step of each image is showing each 1 frame. So if we do that, go to the last one, show 1 frame, press N on the keyboard. Well, actually go to the beginning, press N, so we have like 1 frame here left, and then we will see everything just for 1 frame. And if we loop it, you can see that it's a returning effect. I will trim the comp to work area, and you will see what I'm trying to do here. So I go back to my main composition, choose my background noise, and put that at the background. And you can see right here we can see it, right here we can't see it. To fix that, right click and go to time and enable time remapping. Then hold Alt and click on the stopwatch for the time remapping, and you will see this arrow here. So if you click on that and go to right here to a property, we will select the loop out here. So just loop out type, blah, 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 I don't know. Just click on that and click away, and then just lengthen your displacement map. And what that will do is just once the video is ending, it will just start over again. So we'll just loop actually the video. And now we have like a background like this, very glitchy, also a little bit too detailed here. So we will just change, well, just create a new solid layer here as a background layer. And here we are going to take like a kind of dark blue color, click OK and OK, and put that behind, well, below the background noise. And then just go through all the effects here and see what works. So if you hold Shift and then press the plus on your keyboard, you will switch between all the modes and see what works and what doesn't work. You do need a background to see the difference, else you won't get that. So that's pretty cool as well. And once you got something, you can just play it back and see if you like that. That's like way too much and way too colorful. So what I tried and found out to be good is actually multiply, I guess. And then also what I do is press T on the keyboard to just lower the opacity a little bit more to like 35 or so. And now we have like a subtle background noise that really adds up to the glitch effect of our intro here. Another thing that I've done is created a new solid and renamed this to grain. And I went to effects here, noise and grain, and added the grain. Then change the viewing mode to final output and like change the intensity to 10. And there we go, we have our grain. Then I went and then I just scaled down actually the solid here. So actually the better way would be to just use a mask tool here so we don't get like an aspect ratio difference, and just select a little chunk of your background here. Then move it below the displacement effect here, and that will also displace this noise. And then I just went like 1 frame forward, splitted that layer, go to edit split layer here, and then delete the last part here. But now you see that it's going to just show 1 frame, but that 1 frame really adds up to the effect. And if you duplicate that and move it like 1 here, and then go to that effect and like move the mask a little bit lower, maybe make it a little bit thinner to add some variation, you will get something like this here. So that's pretty cool. You can do like one after another and make it very thin maybe. And also go back to displacement, press U on the keyboard, and just make sure that once the noise is back that we still got some displacement. So we are going to switch it up a little bit. There we go. Also right over here, and then back to 0 here. Okay. Okay, I don't like the wave too much, so we have the wave here and here. I'm going to make it more subtle here, so I'm going to change it to 10, and also change the width to maybe 5. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, a lot better. Then another thing that I have done is go to Effects and Presets, Roughen Edges, search for that, and this you can apply it to your text layer here. So just apply it to the text, and you will see that it's going to soften up our text. If you lower the border here, you will see that you get more of your text to see, and also if you change the edge thickness, well, softness, sharpness, okay, and then you will see that it's softened out the edges, but I think that really adds up to the glitch effect and gives it a nice old look, so that's pretty cool. You can also play with the complexity here if you want to, but I don't think that's really necessary here. So it's just to soften up those edges of the text, and really adds up, and yeah. Then for the title, you can also change the opacity to like 95, just so you can see some background noise through it. It's not going to be very visible, but it's going to add a little bit. For the details, I wanted to add some color in there because it's very gray, well, very gray. I went to the solid and created a red solid here, and I renamed this to red line, and then just made it very, very thin, like something like this here. And then also split the layer so we only have one frame of that solid here. Then place it like a little bit more here, duplicate it, and at the other noise we can maybe move it right over here. Just play around with everything, and now you can see that it adds some color to our glitch, and that really adds up to the effect. Then what I've done as well as lastly, actually, and I know I keep on saying, and then I did this, and then I did that, but okay, so lastly, what I have done here is alt-clicked on the stopwatch for the horizontal displacement, and wrote wiggle 5, maybe 1, and then just close the parentheses. And if you play this back, you will see that you will have a constant displacement to your text. We can also do this, copy the wiggle effect, and go to the other vertical displacement, alt-click, and paste this effect as well, well, the code. And now if you look to your text, it's jittery. You can see that. If you zoom in a little bit, you can also go back to your fractal noise here, and maybe at the end make your width, well, maybe make it smaller so you have like very small details in your text. Maybe 50 and 50, okay. And let's see what we get here. So now you should have like some jittery text. That's pretty cool. Okay. Open up the text composition and also go to animation, animated text, and tracking. And tracking is going to, well, click on the stopwatch here for tracking amount and move ahead like, well, 10 seconds, why not? And then just change the tracking to like 10, and that is going to space our text and give some animation, like something more is happening into our scene. And I really like this effect. It's nice and cinematic. And if we're going to see that in the glitch intro main, we'll get something like this. Okay, so that's everything that I've done. Apart from that, I added a vignette to finish it off. So vignette, make a, well, actually, I'm going to create a new adjustment layer, rename this to vignette, put that on the complete top of our composition. Also the red line, make sure it's below our displacement so it gets displaced as well. So we get something like this, a lot cooler. You can see the red line is split up now. That's really cool. And for the vignette, I will just choose an ellipse tool here for the mask, double click on it so we get an ellipse around our, well, around our composition, and change it to subtract. Press F on the keyboard to feather it out like 350. Go to effect, color correction, curves, and then just bring this down so we darken our scene. We get a nice vignette on the edge of our composition. You can also go back to the background and maybe change it to a little bit more bluish color. Maybe something like this. Okay, I think this looks pretty fine. And maybe finish it off with some noise, noise and grain, add noise, 10%, and there we go. And that's actually it. So now we have our intro. What I have done as well is duplicate like title 1, and maybe well, yeah, title 1, that's all. What I have done here is selected everything. So apart from, well, the displacement and all the grain, the fractal noise and the title. And I pre-compose this to effect 01. There we go. And then what I have done is duplicated effect 01 and went into the effect here, choose the other title, title 4, because I already have the composition here. But for you, that will be title 2. Click on title 1 in effect 04, which will be effect 02 for you. And hold Alt and then drag it onto the title here. Go into the title and then like, oh, a little mistake here. Take your text tool and rename this to like subscribe for more. By the way, if you want a logo instead of text, the only thing you should do is in your text composition, just put a logo and it will work as well. So we'll have the exact same effect. So go back to your TUT glitch intro and then just apply the effect 02 on top of the effect 01. And then you can just play like here, put the other one here, and then just delete the second part here of the first effect. And if we're going to play this back, we'll have like a title switch. So of course you should do it a little bit longer. Let's zoom out a little bit. And let's preview what we have so far. So what I've done as well is the effect to reveal our text. I copied the keyframes and put them at the end of my composition and just reversed the keyframes so it goes in and out. But this also worked very fine, so I'm not sure why I've done that. This is less work, same results, so yeah. Okay, so that was it for this tutorial. I hope you liked the tutorial. If you did, give it a like. Also subscribe for more, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.